What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Giveaway Show. I'm Carlos Collects Comics, and I'm excited that you're joining us tonight. We've got some cool stuff we're going to talk about, all centering around the idea of buying vintage comics and enjoying vintage comics and just adding them to your collection. As always, I just want to take a moment to shout out our one of our channel sponsors, Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys. We've got 3 convenient locations here in the greater Houston area: Galveston, Lake Jackson, and NASA Lago. So make sure you check them out if you haven't already. Great, fun place to shop. Lots of cool stuff there. So always a fun one. But hey, thanks so much to each and every one of you for being here tonight. We're excited that you're here, and we're looking forward to hanging out. We will be getting to you in just a moment, so stay tuned. All right, what's up, everybody? We are here, we're back, and we're hanging out with you tonight. I'm excited because I got my buddy Paul Comics here, and he's got his sidekick as usual hanging out. So Paul, why don't you say hi to everybody?
All right, guys, appreciate y'all being here tonight. See, we're down a couple of guys, but we're here. I don't know what information Carlos is going to give y'all, but me and Billy are going to give y'all the right information. Right, Billy? All right, appreciate y'all being here tonight. Thank y'all. Hit the like button for us. Share it out. Thank you to the channel membership guys on here. Thanks for everybody always coming on Wednesdays supporting me and Billy. We got a lot of messages from you guys appreciating us, work and sweat and tears that we do. My man hurt back here, but yeah, thank y'all, and ready for tonight, guys.
Nice. All right, man. All right. So as always, Paul's got some Easter eggs hidden in the background. So make sure and shout out in the chat which of those things you're excited about. Oh wait, did he pop in?
Yeah,
what's up, Listening Comics?
Fellow vet, my buddy.
Man, hey, you need to come on. You need to come on with it and get on here with us. I mean, if I send you a link, though, you need to jump on. Lifting.
It's good for us, man.
Yeah, I see him over there live streaming on Instagram. All right, so hey, let's go through the chat and say hey to everybody as folks are trickling in. Las Cruces 1971 popping in and saying hooray! Thank you for the shout out, Las Cruces. He shared some of his giveaway winnings winning on Instagram for us. So if you do that, make sure and tag me in it so I can see it, and I'll share it back out on my story and give you a shout out that way. He says, wahoo. Lizzie Pop 5 says, thumbs up, please. Good to see you, Lizzie. All right, Jeff Bozeman is saying, he says, good evening. What's up, everybody? And then El Green Machine, one of our channel members, is popping in. El Green Machine's got a sweet Carlos care package headed his way for his first quarter join, because he's been a member for, I think it's 4 months now. I'm like, whoa. So he's got his first quarterly care package headed his way. If you're interested in that, make sure and check it out. That's a cool way to get comics chosen specifically for you based off of a form that you fill out from me, shipped to you once a quarter. And it's some really cool stuff. It's all kinds of stuff. New books, vintage books. Really cool stuff. So I'm always on the lookout, picking up books for my Dark Knight channel membership tier members. So El Green is one of those. All right. So, there's the logo. Andrew Kai, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. Glad that you're here. Jonathan Dotson, hello, comic buddy. Good to see you there as well. Hey, there's Liz Barnes. Good to see her hanging out in the chat. Hashtag Team Paul. She's here to support Paul. All right. Let's see. Joffrey Castro, it's Cross Comics time. Hey, everyone. Cross DLR says, evening, everyone. Lifting in Comics says, what's up, fellas? At Cross, at Paul. I never get invited to these shows. Must be because I'm Mexican/Islander. Nope. Thanks for playing. But yeah, No, I want you to come on, Eli. So if I send you a link, though, if I send you a link, you better get on. All right. So that's just, I'm just saying, you threw it out there. So yeah, we're gonna bring you on. See, Phil Ailing says, hello all, good to see you, buddy. Oh yeah, hey, I'm back to selling again, bro. Good to hear it. I think I actually have a book with you, a Zatanna book with you, so I need to get a couple more and then have you ship it to me. So y'all check him out on Instagram at Lifting and Comics. Really cool guy, but Paul still says that he's the one that's in the best shape. So I don't know. We'll see that. Carlos, I need a Paul emoji. Hey, I promised it to y'all. It is in the works. It is in the works. But now we have to change it because he changed his hairstyle. So
kept it the old style.
Yeah. All right. So okay. Hey, we're excited that you're here. We're going to be talking about vintage comic books tonight, and this is something that's fun. I'm going to define it for you. Real quick, though, I do want to let you know that within the next 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to drop the hashtag for y'all. But we've got a really cool stack of vintage comics to be giving away tonight. So we're going to give away this whole stack tonight because for the first time, one of the giveaways tonight is going to be more than one comic book. All right. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be kind of fun. All right. Brooklyn Bourne says, "Evening. Who is Billy's co-host? He looks familiar." I agree with you. This is a very snazzy gentleman here, and I haven't seen hair that good since the Future Batman or Mr. Collector. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to drop in the chat the magic hashtag that you can use to reward all of you that are here first. This will be the early bird giveaway, so we're going to do hashtag Vintage Paul. So you can go and start dropping that in the chat. Hashtag Vintage Paul. Start dropping that in the chat, and you will be entered to win. Let's show you what we got here. All right.
What we got?
Okay.
And so, everybody, there's the upgrade book, the Wonder Man #1.
Let's see that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so check it out. We got a Daredevil 25th anniversary. Number 236. It's a newsstand. I think I put this one at about 6.5. It could use a press and clean, but there is a mystery book, which is also a vintage book, or you can do the tried and true upgrade book, Wonder Man #1. Now the upgrade books they started as a joke, but they've kind of become a thing because people keep choosing them. And so some of those have been chosen. So I don't know. So if you're a Wonder Man fan, this is your chance to get a free copy of it, or you could get the Daredevil 236 newsstand in a 6.5, or the mystery book. All right, and so those are going to be the first. We're going to do that in about 4 minutes now. I see people dropping in. And what's up, Dagger Cards? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, David Dotson? Glad to see you as well. Comic Book Report, what is up, man? This dude is blowing up. He's got like almost 6,000 subscribers on his channel. He does all spotlighting of graphic novels and trades and omnibuses and that kind of stuff. Carl Steelar says, we have restored Paul right now. All right, we are doing well, my friend. I hope you're doing well also. Brooklyn Bourne is another one of our channel members. Shout out to him. I saw him pop up earlier. Impressive Comics, good to see you hanging out with us tonight. Glad that you're here, buddy. All are welcome. Liz Mars reminding us that it is 14 likes, so make sure and hit that like button if you haven't yet. What's up, Guillaume? Good to see you hanging out in the chat as well. All right, so we got some fun books. For giveaway. I'm gonna let that run for just a couple more minutes, and y'all make sure and do it if you haven't yet. If you're brand new, maybe if you haven't done this before, all you have to do in order to win is just enter the hashtag And then if you win, the book is shipped for free to you from us. We do that in the continental U.S. only. So if you're outside like Canada or like Hawaii or a different country or something, we will cover the first $16. And we do try to hold your books. So there's some of you that have won books from like seasons 3 and 4, and they're still there. They're still hanging out there in a divider just for you. They haven't gone anywhere. They're just hanging out there until it's a big enough stack to warrant it, because it wouldn't make sense to spend $30 to ship to like France and not have, you only get like a $5 or $10 book. So yes, that is the deal. Make sure you do that. What's up, Dagger Cards? Thank you, sir. Back at you. All right, so we're coming up on it. We're going to be doing it. Also, I'll make this quick announcement. Hey, if you've been getting, if you've been receiving your giveaway books, there are a lot of them that have gone out. You'll notice we're giving out logo stickers now. We're also giving out information about our sponsor, Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys. Make sure and check them out on their socials, and also make sure and check out them on eBay. It's at the Bronze Comic Book Surfer on eBay, and you can shop. I mean, they have like a ton of books on it, so make sure and consider that when you're eBay shopping. Make sure and follow them, save them on there. All right, so it looks like we got enough. We got some people that are doing it. We got 15 folks that have entered. Make sure and do that. If you haven't already, I'm going to go ahead and bring the screen up, and we will go ahead and get this party started. There we go. All right, so it's hashtag Vintage Paul. You still got a minute to enter to win. If you're just trickling in or you're coming in, make sure and do that so we can get you a copy of this book. Liz Barnes says Ben B&R, the Batman and Robin. Those are cool fun codes. They are. All right, here we go, folks. Good luck to everybody in 3, 2, 1.
Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Come on, Carlos. Carlos.
No, it was a Carlos. It was a Carlos.
It was the wrong Carlos.
It was a Carlos. You were calling for Carlos, and that's it. You got it.
Oh, man.
You got it. All right, so here's the deal. Carlos DLR, make sure and drop in the chat which of these you want. The Daredevil 236 newsstand. You can get the mystery book, or you can get the Wonder Man #1. That
he said rigged, and he thought he won. Rigged.
All right, so make sure and let us know, Carlos DLR. Let's see, call for Phil next month. All right, so Phil wants you to call for him to win next time. All right, so let's see, Carlos DLR, make sure and drop in the chat which of these two. All right, he wants the mystery books, folks. So he's going to give up the Daredevil 236, and he's going to get a Tales of the New Teen Titans miniseries #1 starring Cyborg. This is the direct edition, and I'm putting this at about a
George Briz
70 to 75. All right, so congratulations, Carlos DLR.
You sure you don't want the upgrade book, Carlos?
All right. Okay, so to tease for next time.
Old Green says he wanted the Daredevil.
Yeah, the Daredevil is going to go back into the giveaway box. Y'all didn't know there are now 2 short boxes full of giveaway books now. So they've been steadily growing and growing.
All right, I'll be over there.
Going through trying to put fresh bags and boards on them. So next up, coming up in about 45 minutes, we're going to be doing the second giveaway of the night. That is the New Mutants #1 in the newsstand. It's about a mid-grade copy, about a 6.0 copy, complete. All right, or the mystery books, and I say books because it's going to be multiple books, but you don't know what they are. Now this right here, this is a book that I know some people want to add to their collection. or you can take the mystery books here. It is more than one of them, and I'll give you a hint on it to be thinking about. It is 4 books, and it is a complete miniseries. So we'll put that there. We'll put that aside. So that'll be coming up in about 45 minutes for those who are interested in trying to win that one. All right. So hey, there he is. There he is. What's up?
What's up, guys? I'm sorry, man.
Somebody can't tell time.
Yeah, I can't, man. I really can't because I was cooking right now. So I just cooked some food with my wife and made some pretty good food.
Nice. Yeah, I've been seeing some of the pictures you post on Instagram, man. That's some good stuff. That barbecue or something like that. All right, so we just did our first giveaway of the night. We kind of outlined what we're going to talk about tonight, which is, and I'm going to run through it with you real quick too, and also while I walk everybody through it, and then we get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define vintage, because vintage is such a wide open term that it could mean a bunch of different things to a bunch of different people. What it means here for us, for our discussion tonight, is simply what I call precious metals books. We'll just stick to precious metals books. Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age. And we'll just stick to those, which is roughly 85 and prior, I think is about what those span to. Some people like to say modern age, platinum age, diamond age, whatever moves forward from that. I mean, we can go into the
2001 on back or something.
Yeah, it's around there. Because I think 85 ended the Copper Age, right? Yeah. And then bronze is up through encompasses the 90s. So, but I mean, that's the thing is like, to like my son, everything is vintage, or to my daughters, everything is vintage. So
there you go, Liz. She said vintage usually means 20
means 20 years. There you go. What's up, Nelvis Collects? Good to see you, buddy. Where'd you get that? What's up? He's y'all make sure and check out Cody's channel.
That means Carlos and Future Batman are vintage.
Cody's got he's coming up on it. He's doing a 500 giveaway, 500 subscriber giveaway. So check his channel out as well.
Watch it there, Mississippi. You're out of here.
Southern Comic Geek says, "What's up, folks?" Hashtag Paul's fault. That's right. With his snazzy new look. There it is. All right, so that's kind of defining vintage.
And Carlos antique Carlos is 100 years. Oh, okay. She's saying you're an antique Carlos. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
well, for the purposes of tonight's discussion, we'll talk precious metals books. Then we're going to look at what to look for. Then we're going to talk about some current faves that we're all hunting and kind of looking at. That's where we can talk about Fantastic Four and Zorro and show off a couple of those books. Spotlights would be where we show off specific vintage books and maybe share a little bit about how we acquired them. Where to buy. If you have certain little spots or techniques you use to try to find vintage books, good quality vintage books, then you can share that, yeah. And
he said,
we've all got some Chromium
books.
Every dollar bin I know has some Chromium books. All right, and then last but not least, we'll talk about pricing tips, like how to get a good deal, how to negotiate for vintage books. Because dollar value is in the eye of the beholder in a lot of cases. So it really is what people are willing to pay for it.
But if you're talking about like golden age, I think like that's where you start like shrinking because there's not too many out there. So it depends on the book and what you.
Yeah. There's a lot less of them. There's a lot less high grade, and then but the market for them also, because it's kind of like what happens as a collector is you start to go, I think, deeper into it. You start looking at things like original art, sketch art, signatures, or really golden age books. So like as you get deeper into collecting, I think you start to look for those. So I don't know that there's a ton of golden. There's not as many golden age collectors as there are like variant cover collectors.
Yeah.
What's up, Mary Jimenez? Good to see you.
Damn, I came after him, Mary. All right, Mary.
All right,
Mr.
So
Carter.
first off, I was going to open it up for Paul to just talk a little bit about like what he looks for when he's going out, because I think Paul is probably most frequently out in shops on a regular weekly, sometimes daily basis, shopping for comics, digging for comics, and so he does a lot of it. And you know,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Jen and I both do as well, but I don't think we do it like during the week.
Boy, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
I want to open it up for Paul, and then Jen, if you want to weigh in on it after he goes.
Sure,
oh my gosh, platinum will be the next category. Then comes rhodium. I heard diamond was somewhere.
Wow.
But then I don't
platinum,
know.
I've heard of that. I don't know that.
All right, so Paul, why don't you give us some thoughts? Paul has Roman Curtis like money, so he can do that kind of stuff.
Oh, Roman Curtis money!
I
ain't got Roman Curtis money.
If you say Roman Curtis's name 3 times, he's going to appear in the chat.
No, you don't.
All right, so Paul, why don't you share a little bit about what you look for when it comes to shopping for vintage
All right,
books?
so he just said that. So I just acquired this today.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
So,
nice.
you know, I look for 16 pages in here, complete. That's what usually is silver, bronze, on down. Sometimes they'll tell you 100 pages, but you do your research on there, always looking at the grade and what kind of condition the book is in, what color page quality. Looking nice. Look at that Superman. And
okay. So hang on. So hang on. What we're gonna do? I'm gonna type in here some tips. All right. So tip.
so what I look for, page count. You always count in the pages. You always ask to look at the book. If they're not willing to let you do that, then that's not a seller.
Yeah. Skip it. All right. What else did you say? Page count, and then what else?
Yeah, usually like silver, bronze, copper. I think it's like usually 16 pages, but like I said, some of them have like 100 pages. Like this one right here has 100 pages.
So what else did you talk about? Page quality.
Yeah, page quality. But like I said, it depends on what you're looking for, and do your research on every book. That see, like this one is 100 pages, so you know that this book should have 100 pages in it.
Mm.
So that's what you look for when you're looking for these, because cutouts, stuff like that, really affect the grade of the book or what you're looking for. If you want like lower price on a book, like I know 181 without the stamp is like lesser than 181 with the stamp. So that's what I look for when I'm looking for like silver and bronze and copper. I look for which book I'm looking for and information about the book that I need when I'm looking for it.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's see. So I think so. Jen stepped away for a minute, so he'll be.
Or like on this. Oh, I can't. I'll show this.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Yeah. So like on this one, 1960s.
Does it? Okay. Now, does anybody in the chat know what is the big?
So
thing
do you know what to look for? And a bunch of them don't. But what do you look for in this book?
What do you look for in the Batman number 181? What's the one thing that is very common for that one? Drop it in the chat. Let us know. There it is.
Yep.
Make sure the poster is in there.
Yep. This thing right here.
Yep, Darth Lucian. It is the first Poison Ivy. Make sure that always when you're looking at mine, that when people talk about the pinup, that's the pinup they're talking about. Mm-hmm. You got to make sure that pinup is in that book, because otherwise the price is way lower.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of people would buy them without the pinup. You get them cheaper, but a lot of people have been look for the pinup because a bunch of these books don't have it. I've seen a bunch of 181s, and as soon as I see it, I ask the seller, does it have it? And they say no. And they say I could work a deal out with you, but I'm always looking for the ones with the pin up.
Yeah. Also, you want to look for, hey, Christina Payne, what's up? Good to see you. Christina Payne, make sure and either email or text me if you don't mind, or email or message me on Instagram. I need your shipping information. I have a book that has been hanging out here for a while, and I do not have the
also
shipping.
in the vintage. Oh, go ahead.
There you go.
Also in the vintage. Some people like the date stamp.
Are we pulling that out now?
Hey man, I mean I'm showing the guys vintage. You wanted vintage, I'm giving you vintage. This is never, but there is a date stamp. Let me see if I can get it. Watch it, Billy. Oh Billy, I don't want to hurt you. Oh Billy, yeah. So if you can see it right here, there's a date stamp right by her belt. A lot of people like that, but like I said, beautiful book. 16 pages. Yeah, some people love date stamp. Look at the pages on there, man. God, 16 pages. But like I said, this one has a date stamp on it. A lot of people like it. Some people don't. Yeah, look how beautiful this one is. And been out of the. Well, you're going back in the dungeon. All right. So yeah, those are the ones I look for when I look for some books, like these on these. A lot of people like the checkerboard, they call them, on the Silver Age DC books. A lot of people like the yeah. That's what I like. I like date stamps, and I look for the pin-ups. I look for the page counts, how the books look. Go ahead, Carlos. What do you have, buddy?
Yeah. So, all right. So, Mississippi is asking.
Oh, Mississippi! I ain't trying to outdo Carlos, Mississippi.
So the deal is, thanks, Christina Payne. I'll make sure and get that address now for you. So there's a lot of stuff to be aware of.
No, I wasn't Mississippi. I was not doing that to my buddy Carlos.
Like when I only grabbed what was in arm's length, so I didn't even.
So did I. That's what I did.
So okay. Couple things to point out. Like Paul messaged, or like Paul said, you got to make sure the book is complete. Watch for the book to be complete. This is the first appearance of a character that my son had a brief infatuation with, Amethyst, the Princess of Gem World. This is Legion of Superheroes number 298. It has one of those preview sections in the middle of it, except this one. Read the note that I put on there, missing preview. So I came across a stack of them, picked them all up because they were super, super cheap. They were, it was like $1 or something. And I said, okay, people might not know this is the first appearance of Amethyst. But, yeah, one of them did not have the preview that is her first appearance. So this is basically worthless. It's not the first appearance. It's an incomplete copy of a random Legion of Superheroes book. So, but I still keep it around just as like a... as like a thing. Another thing to look for is... Hold on on that. So Carlos made a good point, because I've had that happen also. Whenever you find a book and it's missing stuff, that is always... And it's a learning curve as you go along to knowing a book that you're looking for. But like he said, that's a perfect example. You have those as a reminder to yourself to, hey, look for these things. Ask the seller, does it have this? Does it have that? Because, like I said, a 181 without a stamp is way more than a 181 without it. So, yeah, it's depending on your price range of what you're looking for, but also always ask these questions and know what book you're looking for, what is going to be in that book, and what to expect in there. So that was a good point that he made. Like, he has that as a reference to himself, because that's never happened to Billy. That's happened to me and Carlos, but we're not as experienced as Billy is. Billy uses the Force.
Yeah, but Billy's Billy already knows what the book is. Right. He's like, oh no, I'm moving on to the next one. But yeah, Carlos, even an expert like Carlos. So you guys in the chat, that's ever happened to you. So know that the expert Carlos, that happens. That was a good point. I just wanted to say that.
I'm gonna say this to be clear though. It was a stack of them, and they were all cheap, so I just bought them.
You see that, guys? You see that, guys?
I didn't bother to open.
There's always something with
Carlos.
Carlos.
I knew better, but I didn't. No, that's the truth. That's the truth. All right, so like sometimes, especially like you talked about with page count, when you're talking about like older, like Golden Age books, especially the pre-code horror stuff, you want to know the page count. You want to check.
Yeah.
You want to check on that. Okay.
Yeah, and on Golden Age, guys, the dimensions and all that. I mean, Golden Age is a different animal, guys. So
because that's another thing. Back, in the
archival
70s and
tape
80s,
they used, they
in the 70s and 80s, it was not a big deal for dealers to trim off rough edges of comics.
Yeah.
You have to watch for that on older books as well.
Yeah.
You have to kind of know the measurement and how much overlap, and then you have to know how to look for certain types of damage. And like I said, you want to make sure the book is complete, but you also want to make sure that it's got, not just all the pages, but you also want to look at the page quality, like you said. And also, like this one has a little bit of moisture staining to it because it hasn't gone through pressing and cleaning from press niche.
Oh, we're doing that now? Oh, you see in Mississippi?
So yeah. Speaking of the first appearance of Man-Bat, sometimes you can get a great deal on books that might be underpriced, so to speak, because the person selling it thinks that the condition is too rough. So this is, it's still the first appearance of Man-Bat. It's a great book to have, regardless of the condition.
Is that what we're doing now? Oh, we're flexing like that?
Yeah. So, now here's another thing. Paul doesn't know much about these. But
Zorro.
Let's have one of our moderators bump out this state-owned RIDI whatever person. All right, Classics Illustrated. Like I've started to pick these up.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the deal with these though is that you have to know, because they had so many printings and so many editions of these books that that like it can be easy to mistake them, because it's not just the cover. There's nowhere inside the book, as it talked about, except the back of the book. Whatever the listing is on the back of the book, however far it goes, that helps you know what printing the book is. So it's like Classics Illustrated is its own specialized thing in and of itself. I haven't dived too deep into it, and since Paul was showing her off, I wanted to show mine off as well. But here's something. I got a really great deal on mine.
Man, that thing is loved. Holy cow! Oh, it was in the library. Oh.
Look at that spine, though.
Oh,
look at that spine.
Ooh, that thing was in a library, wasn't it?
Look at how clean. No, this was a PC book. It was a personal collection.
It was in a personal collection?
Yeah.
Usually you buy books like that, they're from the library punched out like that.
No. This was a personal collection from somebody.
Oh,
I mean, it might have one day it might have been in a library, but this was a personal collection.
Wow.
But look at how clean this copy is.
Yeah,
and that's
I can
the thing
see right through the book.
Sometimes, because this would easily be a 7.0 book, which is over $1,000. But I got it for.
What grade would you give that with the hole punch like that?
Well, with the hole punch, it drives down to a 3 or a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah,
wow.
It's about a 3 to 3.5. But the thing is, it presents like a 7 or higher, and so when it could go even higher than that, man. Because it is nice. Damn. But that's the thing when you're talking about vintage books, like what to look for. If you know what to watch for, because I spotted the hole punches right away. Yeah, and I thought about it and talked to that salesperson for a little bit about it. And ultimately, I decided to go ahead and buy it because, A, I would never get a copy this nice for the price that it was at. Mm-hmm. Discounting the hole punches, it was just like, this is the most beautiful copy I will ever hold in my personal collection, because I'm never going to spend, a couple $1,000s on an equivalent copy.
Yeah,
without the
like $1,500.
So, I'm not gonna spend that much. So for me, like knowing what to look for, I said, okay, you know what? It's gonna be it'll either be a qualified or it'll get a blue label, but it'll be a low blue label. It would probably be like a qualified 7.0 or higher.
And you made another good point on that too, because if you're looking for that type of book, and you see that maybe you're comfortable, and a lot of people, what they do is they'll start from a low grade and build up to a higher grade, sell that book off, and then get the bigger, or maybe they buy the higher grade and then sell off the lower grade. So yeah, he made a good point. It depends. Like some people buy the lower grade just to have the book, just to be like, I have that book now. So he's in that tier, like I have a first Batgirl, even though I could see through the book, but you know, it's still a nice book. It presents well. He's happy with it. You know, he gives it to me a little peroxide light bath. I'll fix that all up for him. Go key,
nice, very
8
nice.
Point or better. Yeah, you need to find a hole puncher. Hole punch that and put them in. But yeah, I mean, he made two good points. I mean, some people go in and they'll be way too expensive, and then you get a entry level grade, and then you trade up or get the higher grade and then sell the lower grade. So
yeah, and that was my plan at the time. But I'm happy with that one, with that copy. I've moved on to collecting other books.
So they say buy one and punch it, and then restore that one.
Yeah, and restore it. Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, look who came back! The future Batman.
Thanks for checking on that, Liz. I appreciate it. All right, future Batman. Let's go to you. Like, what do you look for when you're shopping for vintage books?
Oh yeah, I got to hear this.
So I make sure that the Marvel value stamp is there, especially if I'm going to spend a lot of money. If I'm going to spend a lot of money on a certain book. I remember it wasn't last year. It was back in 2022. I had sold a copy of one of these. I had an 8.0, and it was missing the Marvel value stamp. But I ended up selling it for $2,500 to one of the buyers. And once the book dropped, I bought another one. So that's just how it is. And that's another thing I look at, is that if I look at the value of the book, like this book has retained most of its value, but whenever this book hits like another $1,000, it's because of a movie's coming out or is being promoted by Disney, or there's something going on with this book. Because Wolverine's a very popular character. A lot of people say that 181 is the first appearance, but he actually shows up at the end of this panel. That's another thing I look at on these books now too, is if I'm going to buy this book and I'm spending a lot of money, is a Marvel value stamp there? Is it going to hold value? What does this book mean to me in the long run? Like if I add it to my collection, because collecting books is very expensive, guys. It's like if you're a collector, you're going to you'll start off, let's say you're a newbie or whatever. You get into this collecting scene, you'll end up spending $10, $15. Now, some people, $10, $15 is like a meal to them. They're not going to, they don't want to spend more than cover price for some of these books. But when you're getting into books like this, or this is actually one of my other favorite books right here, or books like this, the first appearance of Cuckoo Khan, which is the Namor from the MCU. This is the character they were basing it off of, the origin and the first appearance of El Tigre. When you look at books like this, will it hold value? Because this book was hot for a very long time, and once that movie came, and they kind of tarnished his character a little bit, the book's kind of fluctuating now. It's kind of fallen off. and this is a 66 book too. So it's you could probably get your hands on a pretty good copy, but when I remember this being part of my collection, which is why when they did that in the movie, I was like, why didn't they just turn him into El Tigre? They could have just used him. He was a badass. Another thing I look for foreign editions. I'm very big on foreign comics. I wish I had some time to go to a different location to grab my other books that I have in the storage. But I have the Filipino edition to the Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's the most rarest of all the ASM 300s because it was released around the same time as the Amazing Spider-Man 300 US edition. So when and it's also under a different label. Remember, before Marvel came around, they were called Timely Comics, right? Before Timely Comics, they also had a subsidiary comic company called Atlas. So the publisher for that comic book for the Philippines edition, it's all in English because everything, the laws, the signs, everything is in English. The comic book is not in Tagalog. It's actually in English. So there's only one 8.5 copy out there. And if it wasn't for Strictly to tell me, he's like, hey, that edition that you have? And I'm like, yeah, what about it? He's like, dude, it's the rarest of all the Amazing Spider-Mans. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And that's what got me into collecting more foreign books, because if you can't afford an English version, you can always go off and try to get yourself a French version. And I remember I showed this one to Chris Claremont, and he was like, oh, yeah, man. He thought the cover was way better than the American cover. He enjoyed the realism on the eyes and the face and everything. I think this is a Latino artist too that did this. Jean Frisano, maybe he's Italian, but yeah, it's his cover right here. I always thought this book was very, very cool. But yeah, that's what I look at. I look at all those things. You don't know what you're gonna find. Sometimes you'll be at the $5 bin or $1 bin or whatever, and there might be a special edition, and you may just end up getting lucky. So that's that, man. That's all I have to say on that. That's usually what I look at whenever I go shopping.
So I'd like to elaborate what you were saying. So when I look for this book,
that's a very nice book. Yeah, very nice book.
So very nice. But this is what he's talking about, guys. So it really affects the book because a lot of people, and this is what he's talking about, guys.
The Marvel value stamp. Mm-hmm.
Yep,
exactly.
And then know exactly which books you're looking for that have the Marvel value stamp. 181, 180, 182. This book, I think there's a few of them, but yeah, look at how beautiful it is.
And they'll even, just to add on to what Paul's saying, it'll even tell you what stamp to look for. Like it'll tell you,
because this one has the black bolt.
And it'll tell you that, so that's how you know if a book has been messed around with. Also,
so and in this book, when you're looking at this book, guys, look how nice and pretty that one is, man. Wow. And I'm not doing none of that, Mississippi. I'm just trying to inform you guys. I'm not doing that to Carlos. But Carlos, check out this book right here. So on this one, you be careful on this one. See, this is the original ad. There's another book of this, a J.C. Penney reprint, I believe it is, that has the Stridex ad in the back, guys. So y'all be careful when y'all are looking at this original one. The original one has the original ad, and then the other one has more modernized one, but you can tell. But sometimes the front looks exactly like it. I've seen people buy this book, and then they're like, oh, it's not the original, it's the reprint,
Yeah, I have the J.C. Penney one. I have that version of the book.
And if you're looking for that book and it has that, but I mean, like I said, just watch out there. Some people will be like, but if you know what you're looking for, that's what you do. You do your research on all these books. And this is another one that I like on the vintage ones. And I ain't doing none
yeah.
Mississippi. I'm just showing. I think this is Nemerita, but this one is what I always go after. This one has the national diamond insert in there. Before,
that's very nice.
Before Mark Jewelers, you had the national diamond insert. So those are the classic ones I look for. You know, and I ain't doing that Mississippi. I'm just showing off and informing you guys. I ain't doing nothing like that Mississippi. And yeah. So I'm not doing none of that, guys. I'm just helping you guys, keeping y'all informed. I'm not doing none of that. You know,
no, Paul's great, man. I mean, that was
Carlos
awesome.
Is
that
crying in the background over there. You know,
I'm glad that he jumped in. Now I would like to show
keep
one
going,
other book.
guys. You know,
I would like to show this book. This is actually Paul's favorite book right here. Ain't that right, Paul? This is what a scarce book looks like. It's very hard to find. Just because this is like a con book, guys, and sometimes they won't even tell you. They won't even tell you that this book is what's representing the con or whatever. But where's Carlos at?
I'm down here.
Carlos is crying in the background, man. He's crying.
Yeah, I was gonna show this book off, Carlos.
Oh, let me. Sorry, I still need to get you set up for it.
Yeah, you're right. Where's Carlos's books at? I don't know, guys.
So guys, this is actually Paul's favorite book because he loves.
Oh man, you know what? You're out of here. You're out of here.
So if you look closely, guys, this one says BotCon 2000. You can consider this a vintage book. You could because of the fact that
I think it came out like in
2024, 20 years ago. And then also, I had Ron Perlman sign this one. But if you look at the back, it actually tells you where this book was, the significance of this book right here. So it'll tell you like, hey, BotCon 2000, July 28th through the 30th, that weekend. But this is actually the first appearance of Optimus Primal, from the movie. So these books, I don't think anyone thought that these were like legit. So a lot of people held these books like the way you would your TV guide, like they would hold the book like this, they'd be like doing that with the book and stuff. So a 9.8 in this book is very hard to find. I think there's only one copy out there that's a 9.8 and it's signed and I own it. So, I mean, I've been looking at the census just to see if there's more versions of them out there, and they're just very hard to get by because it was a con edition for one. And so whenever, if I am going out and I'm shopping or I'm looking around, another thing that I do is if I see, let's say your local comic book shop, our local comic book shop, there's a few of them around here. There's Bedrock, right? And then there's Atomic Monkey, which is my favorite one to go to. Just because people out there are very nice. But if he has something on his wall, I'll tell him like, hey, can I see that? I'm like, oh, dude, that's a con edition. Where'd you get that? He's like, oh, well, some guy brought it in and, this is how much I'm asking. And then, and if you have a good relationship with the person, you can probably either, trade something to get store credit to bring it down, which they prefer store credit rather than giving you cash. Anytime
Jen, check the private chat, please.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, guys.
So.
Okay.
It's all good. So, it's all good. You can keep it rolling.
Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll go and talk to them, and I'll be like, hey guys, if I want this book, and then they seem to have it in the back, I'll tell them like, hey guys, if I do this, maybe they'll give me store credit for this or whatever. So, but that's that. That's usually how I go around and try to. But the thing is, just watch out for their deals. If they have a holiday deal or these companies are always doing something. Valentine's deal or free comic book day sales or Halloween sales. Whenever that opportunity presents itself, you can even get a discount on top of that. You just have to be there at the right time. I think timing's everything. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
You're up, Carlos.
Okay.
What you got?
All right, so here's the deal. So Christina Payne, I'm sorry about that. I thought I had a book for you, but I'm looking in.
Your camera's off, man. Your camera's off.
I went through my box real quick. I was going through my box of the claimed giveaways, and I thought I had one. I'll look again. Christina. But thank you for responding though and doing that. What's up, Tony NY Jr.? Good to see you hanging out with us. And those guys, those have been some great books. I'm going to keep it moving along. So
Carlos
DLR
made a good point. He says Sergeant Fury 13 has some reprint from JCPenney. Some of them books, older books, have those, guys. So y'all be careful looking out for those things. Now go ahead, Carlos.
So moving it along, we talked about some current. We also talked about some current faves that we're looking for. Y'all know me, of course. I'm always looking for vintage Zorro books. I've worked my way, I think, almost completely through the Silver Age ones, and now I'm in the Bronze Age, like the Walt Disney reprints, the Gold Key. And those are really the ones that I'm looking for now, that I'm continuing to build that up. But I'm always looking for vintage Zorro books. And I know you guys are always just on the lookout for good, solid books. That's really cool about the foreign language cover, though. Because that's like super rare, that only graded signed copy. That's a really neat keepsake to have right there.
And another one that people like to hunt for are Pence ones. Pence 35.
Yeah.
There's
and then
also
those price variants.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 30 cent and 35 cent ones. Yeah.
My only pence that I ever got to own was by a lawman. During an auction, he had that out, and I ended up purchasing it from him. And it was the first appearance of Thanos. That's the only pence that I've actually owned so far. But yeah, they're very hard to come by also.
Yeah.
What's up, Louis V? Good to see you, sir. All right, so let's keep it moving along. So we've talked about some stuff. Where are some good places to buy vintage comic books? That y'all like in y'all's experience?
Private. What are they called? Private collections. So a buddy of mine and myself. Well, two of us. Well, actually, three of us went out there to New Orleans to look at a private collection, and there was a lot of the stuff there. But here's the thing: if you are going to buy a comic book, guys, like especially if you're going to buy like a Hulk 180, or you see a Punisher or whatever, if you know that this person has a lot of these books, and you start taking these books and start placing them in short boxes, you're technically taking all the good books out for them, because what they're going to do is, when this happened to us, that's why I thought it was funny. They're going to take the books, they're going to put it aside, and they're going to look at them, and they're going to say, this book's worth like $2,500. This one's worth like $3,000. So what you do is you take the books out, but not all of them. You take out the ones, let's say if there's doubles, you take some doubles out, leave some of the other ones in the actual box, and you put it in a short box. Then what you do is you tell them, you go, hey, it may not work all the time, and it's happened with me and the way I've done things. And I think when I talked to Mr. What's his name? Paul would know. Comic Book Champ. When Comic Book Champ had brought this up too, and when we talked about this, he had said, "This is how I usually do it," and I said, "Yep, that works," because that's what we ended up doing. What they'll do is when they go through that, you can always tell them and say, look, these books right here that I put aside are all your keys. And these books right here are not really worth anything. And I'll buy this from you for like 50 to 100 or whatever. And the thing is, if there were doubles in there and you put some of them aside for this person, most likely what this person will do is he'll let you take the big box. And you can get you can get keys upon keys just by doing that. Because they'll look at it and they'll say, well, he put these books out. I'm looking through these books. And that's, I mean, I guess he did sort of my job for me. But he'll let you keep that. But if you go back around, you'll tell him, like, hey, for like another $300-400, I'll probably get this off of your hands. Now, if they went through the books prior to you saying that, they're not going to be dumb and say, hey, this is a $2,500 book. I'm not going to give you this box for $400 when this one book is $2,500. So what you do is, if you are going to go off and do private collections, you just want to be very tactical and very smart about how you do it. Because a lot of these guys, once they figure out these books are worth certain amount of money, you can kind of screw yourself over by being greedy. So you can put some books aside for them, and then and still get some finds in a long box or a short box. That's one way that I would do it. And then the other way is you can probably go to a setup meet, like a comic book meet, where they set up all like a fiesta or like a flea market, where everybody like sets up, and then they have their collection, and you do a trade-off. So you find this comic and you're like, hey, this thing is worth about $2,000 or whatever. This one's worth about $21,000. And then you trade each other the books. That works also. You can do that. I can't remember what they're called, but people do them all the time in Houston. So those are my two that I would put out there that you can do.
Okay.
What
Totally confused.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Carl DLR is saying, get to know people. Yeah, buying in bulk and buying in large collections is definitely an option. But like Jen said, watch out how you deal with them. It's best to just walk in, make an offer. They either take it or they don't. And then so and then he also said, no, he's not talking about an actual flea market. He's talking about a comic book swap.
There you go.
Those happen. Yeah. So those are cool.
The one that's good, guys. If y'all can make it, is Carlos Collects Comic Swap.
Stop. Stop. He's back into mute territory, folks. He's about to get muted shortly for telling tales. In Houston, when we do a comic swap, it's really for people to just pick up books and drop off books to other people that they need to get books to, and grab lunch and hang out together. So we haven't done one in a while, though.
I've never been to one. I've never been to your swap.
Yeah, we need to. We always.
I know you guys have invited me, but I've never
North Loop. We've done it in the North Loop area before, but yeah, it's a fun kind of get together time. Just everybody can come and go and hang out. So let's see where to buy. Okay, so for me, a couple of places. That's a really good option. That's wild, Carl's DLR, about people cleaning houses.
Yeah, and they give them I've heard of it. Yeah,
that's pretty funny. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So Liz Barnes. Sometimes antique stores don't know the values or estate sales. What I've come across is that antique stores generally, because they don't know, they radically overvalue. I had somebody like a run-of-the-mill G.I. Joe book, and he wanted like $18. And I mean, this thing wasn't even a 50-cent book. It was so torn up and beat up. Mm-hmm. And at that point, when somebody's so far away, I just say, okay, well, thanks for letting me take a look. And I just walk away.
Wow.
Because he didn't have anything priced. Mm-hmm. He just had he had stacks of books, and I flipped through them, and I just said, so what's the, because they weren't displayed like at a comic shop. They were in stacks inside of a locked cabinet. So I saw a stack of comics. I said, hey, can I flip through those and take a look? And as I started flipping through them, I saw a couple of them priced, and I was like, okay, wow, these are like way over, because there was nothing of substantial value there. And with the internet and with apps, it's harder and harder to find antique stores that have like hidden gems. I found them though. I have found them, but more often than not, what I've found is books that are radically overpriced. So now, flea markets, it depends. Estate sales, it depends on who's running the estate sale. And then garage sales, though. I had an older couple from my church found a short box of books with a Hulk 340, an ASM 316, and a bunch of other books, including several keys, and they got it for $10. And they gave it to me.
Got it for $10?
$10.
Man.
$10, and it had a ton of books in it. And this was when I was just kind of getting back into comics, and this was been several years now. And I just remember thinking, wow, $10. So I gave him some extra for it, but yeah, I dug into it, and
the books were in good shape.
Some were not.
Yeah, see, that's
the ASM 316 was kind of beat up.
Mm-hmm.
But I've actually come across two of those in short box deals like that, where I got a short box for like $20, $30.
Man, look at this, guys. You see this one? Man.
Yeah, yard sales are amazing at times. They can. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, if I'm looking for, there you go. Although even the small town people, it's just, a lot of it's just really overpriced. Go to antique stores and flea markets, also very few people, especially in the country, don't care for comic books. That's true. That is true. But I've still, by and large, because we check antique stores in every small town we go through. And by and large, it's usually dollar books, and they're usually radically overpriced. And even if it is like a small key, it's just so crazy overpriced that I'm just like, this is silly.
Yeah, y'all tune in for the Carlos Collect road trip.
Yeah, we'll have to do an antique road show and take Paul into some of these small towns and see what happens. I can guarantee that'll be.
Hey, me and Billy will be there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think, part of it is one big tip I've given this before on different things, is put the word out into your social, like your non-comic social circles, family, friends. If you go to church, other church members, just put the word out, because you want them to, keep reminding them, you want them to think of you when they come across a big box of comics and they don't know anything about it. But hey, this is $20. Should we buy this? Yes, buy it. A $20 box of comics? Sure, yeah. Because at the very least, you sell 20 of them for $1 and you've got your money back. So and even if it's 90s stuff, there's fun 90s stuff also. But yeah, I mean, put the word out to your non-comic social circles. Hey, I am looking to buy. And then also, just be aware that you don't have to. Everybody's gotten obsessed with this whole meat on the bone concept, that they have to get it for under so they can turn and try to flip it. Those days are gone. They're over. Nothing is a quick and easy flip anymore. I mean, there's a few books like flash in the pan books, but I mean, those days are over. So, if there's a book that you really want and you feel like it's a fair deal, go for a fair deal. But, I have kind of gravitated away from trying to get, fantastic flipping steals and whatever, because it's just not that market anymore. It's changed. So, just a couple of my thoughts. All right, that segues us into pricing tips. Guys, how do you negotiate prices on some of these? Like Jen, you talked about some of the pricing for, some pricing tips for buying a collection, and some of those. But, what are some straightforward, easy to remember pricing tips for people looking to buy an individual book?
You don't have to zoom up on me or anything. You can, I like seeing both of your. I like seeing both of your faces, one, because it feels like I'm not just talking to the chat, but I'm talking to both of you. But the thing is, so what I do is I'll when I went to New Orleans, I'm going to use that as an example because that's the only one that I felt like I got something out of. Okay, so when we went, we ended up getting like 5-6 boxes full of comics, and I was helping my friend in return. He was like, "Hey, pick a book that you actually won from out of here. If you see 2 or 3 that you like, because there were some gems in there." We ended up. What we did is we told her, we're like, "Hey, we'll give you $100 a box," and it wasn't a short box; it was a long box. Guys, $100 for a box that has gems in there. That one gem is probably worth like $100 or $200. I ended up getting a first Silver Age Catwoman from that box.
Oh wow!
So like I said, the woman didn't know, and what we did is we used that technique. We put all the good keys in one area, and we told her, "These are your keys," and then this had doubles in it. They had some doubles in there. So we're like, you know what? But this doesn't have anything. But we'll take this off because we do an auction and we can sell these. So maybe $100. If you buy more, if you buy in bulk, give it to us for like $75 a box. But she was like, okay, well, how many boxes are you going to take? And we're like, well, we'll take like 5 or 6. So we ended up taking like 5 or 6 boxes. And we're like, hey, we'll come back next week or something, and we'll look at more stuff. She realized what she could be doing with these. Like, even though we were separating them, she realized what was in these books. So she was like, don't come back next week. Where I know what I have. I know what I have now. So it's like. If you, I'm sure that you guys took some things, or you're probably cherry picking. But she saw us take books out, and put them aside. But yeah, that's one tactic that we did. We gave her a price, and we also told her, we said, look, you have about 30-40 boxes here. You have the time to sell them, great. But most of these women, and and their kids are. If they're not into comics, they're not going to go and price every little book on eBay. They're not going to do it. It's too much time. And then shipping them, all that. So just to let her know and be like, hey, look, $100 a box. I put some of your keys right here. This one is worth like $4 or $5, $100. This one's worth $1,300. When they see the numbers, they'll be like, okay, so I guess, I'll give them this box for like $100 and this box for $100. So that was one way we did that. Another thing is depending on who's selling, there's a lot of groups on Facebook, guys. Like, one group that I follow is, they sell like CGC books only. So if you are looking for a specific CGC book, you can go to this group and you can try to find people on the group and try to negotiate there, because they even say or best offer. You can private message and let them know, like, hey, if they're local, you can meet up and say, hey, yeah, we said it'll be $100 for this book, right? And then I'll make a trade. And you end up saying that you wanted the first Black Bolt and you traded, I don't know, the first Black Canary or something. I mean, there's 2 completely different books, but I don't know what deal you had going, but condition and all that matters. But that's the other thing you can do. Yeah, I mean, I want you guys to. I want Paul to say something.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm totally confused.
You never do.
Billy doesn't understand, and
Billy's a mute. Billy's a mute.
What Carlos is wanting here, me and Billy will save the date. So I've been looking for this book for a while. So like I said, I've acquired it. Great, nice condition, I thought, and I was willing to pay like $100 for it. That's the price I was gunning for. But the guy told me that I would usually buy books from. He said $50. I'm looking $50, and I was like, cool. That's what I want. Less than what I wanted to pay for it, but I bought it. So like, what Carlos is saying, when whatever book you're looking for, have a price range you're willing to pay for it. And like Jim was saying, somewhat saying that I'm totally confused. I'm still confused, but he's if lower grade, then you'll go down on the and usually when you point out stuff to certain, like if you go to shows, we didn't even say that about shows. If you go to shows, you build a relationship with certain people that they'll look and say, okay, Paul's looking for this book. Hey, I got this book. They'll already tell you when you meet up with them, and you can say the condition. They're like, oh, okay, the condition. Then you start kind of going back and forth on the price, and you can secure a price that you're comfortable with on a certain book. But what I'm thinking he's trying to say, whatever book you're looking for, have a price range you're willing to pay for it. And what Jen is saying, the better condition, the more money they'll probably look for. But then you can have that medium where you're going back and forth on certain things, and relationship with a certain seller, with the show on YouTube, on Instagram, anywhere of those things, you get that reliable seller. They'll send pictures to you, and you can make a decision, and you can go back and forth on certain prices, and you can have deals. I mean, I've sold a bunch of books, and people have offered me whatever I'm comfortable with selling a certain book. And, you know, you build a relationship with the seller, build a relationship at the show with a certain seller. Or like, if I go to flea markets and stuff like that, like if I buy a certain book at a certain price, then I'm not really looking if the condition's good. But if it's complete there, you know, you won if you bought a book at a certain price in that collection. But certainly I like to go, if I'm looking for bigger books, like the Batgirl and stuff like that, I go to a shop, or I go to a show, or I go to a seller that I'm comfortable with, and I tell them, hey, let me see that book in my judgment and see what price point I want to pay for it. So that's my 2 cents on it. Know what book you were looking for, and know what price point you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah, that's key.
So I just want to apologize about Carlos and Jen.
So on the top 10, a lot of the top 10 videos that I do now, I've started adding a target collector's price, and I do have more that I'm working on, including ones for Moon Knight, Superman, Batman, and quite a few other heroes. So you'll get to see those coming up pretty soon here. But I was trying to issue a target collector's price and give what I would pay for that book, and that's what those always are. I'm not telling you how you should spend your money. I'm just saying, if it was me and I'm looking to buy that specific book, this is the price and the grade that I'm going to be aiming for. You know, and that's you know, and I actually use those when I go out shopping and I'm looking for certain books, because I'll say, okay, I definitely want to get this book, or no, I'm not going to get that book because it's just overpriced. And yeah, so that's a really good point that Paul brings up, that know what you're like. You know, I've said this like, I don't know, 15th times. Have your money ready, have your budget in mind, and you'll find a deal on it, because none of these things are one of ones. I mean, you know, there's some signed books and some sketch covers and stuff like that are one of ones, but most, like 98% of the books that people are going to be going for that are popular books, there's going to be multiple copies, and there's always going to be another deal around there. If you can't come to terms with it, then you know you can't. You know, I'm watching one on eBay right now that it's a bit overpriced for what I want to pay for it, but it's a freshly graded book. So it's freshly graded and it's a golden age book. So I'm like, going back and forth with myself about whether or not I want to engage in discussions with them. So, what were we going to say, Paul?
No, I was going to say Dotson made a good point, and another thing that he's saying, if you go golden age, like a good example, he's not here right now, but Collector was going after the first Red Hood, and he's been hunting that book for like years, and he's seen the one like Carlos was saying on eBay. Was like, should I pull the trigger or not? But that book rarely comes up for sale, and it's really hard to like find examples of that book. I go to shows all the time. I never but once seen it at I think it was either Comic Palooza or when Bedrock was at Eastern Rim. Those are the only two places I've really seen that book or that kind of golden age, because that's a really big book right there. But like I said, some of these books, if you go earlier years, they become like very limited to get. Not a lot of them come to market, but like Carlos was saying, he's going back and forth if he wants to get it or not, freshly graded. So the work's done. So it depends on if Carlos wants to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And so, we'll see. Maybe it'll be on the show.
We'll see. We'll see if I end up buying it. I'm leaning towards possibly making an offer, but I need to sell off a couple books first to do that.
Yeah.
Real quick note: make sure that you got spelling correct. Hashtag vintage gin. That's gin with an N, not an M. So I think Phil, make sure you redo yours. And you want to make sure and spell it hashtag vintage gin. All right, we're gonna do that giveaway like I shared at the top of the show. This is the giveaway book right here, New Mutants #1, in a newsstand at about a 6.5 to 7.0. You can get this, or you can get the mystery books. That's right, there are 4 of them. It is a complete series / storyline. Fun books, or you might want to go for this one because you know what you're getting. And then also, now those are a bit beat up, those, but it's a matching newsstand set of those as well. Or the New Mutants #1, or you can always do the upgrade, Wonder Man #1. It's got the poster inside. It's only about an 8.0, but it's complete.
They want to see the mystery book, please.
It's his favorite book.
I'm sure they want to see the
Watch it. So, get him, Billy. Get him.
Yeah, hashtag vintage gin. That's what you want to do.
What's up, gin, guys?
Hanging out there. All right, so this is one of the books. We're going to do the giveaway in just a moment here, but I'm going to let these guys do a final thoughts and shout outs for the night, because we are going to wrap it up right after this, because I'm trying to get us landed at 10:30. So
we didn't talk about Zorro. We still have time, right?
We've got a couple minutes. Yeah, you know what? Let's save it and let's just. Do you want to just do a Zorro-centric episode?
Yeah, it's like
sure.
Zorro.
I mean, dude, I'm on. I got like 3 episodes left on Zorro right now. So if you
Zorro,
don't tell me, because I'm watching it with my daughter.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, they all died.
I want to talk about it with you once you're done. So.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, they all died at the end, guys.
I'm moving slower because I'm going with them on it. I'm watching it with them. All right, so make sure you enter that hashtag. Jen, why don't you go ahead and say, final thoughts and shout outs to everybody.
I had a good time, guys. I was cooking and totally lost track of time, and I was like, wait a second. And then I saw Carlos's text, and I got up on here, and it was great. It was great. Tussling around and trying to get all my stuff together, and just spending another Wednesday night with you guys. So thanks for tuning in always and supporting us, and I'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Let's move it along to Paul Comics.
All right, appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank y'all for always coming and supporting us. I know that y'all were confused with what Carlos and Jim was saying, but me and Billy are here. Give y'all the information, so y'all message me if y'all were confused. But as always, thank you guys. And Tornado dies in episode 4, but it had to happen with Zorro. But thanks for Carlos always doing this, and thanks you guys. Thanks to the channel members, and always hit the like button, share it out. We're always here on Wednesday. We enjoy doing this with you guys, and always love you guys picking up the giveaway books. Always a fun time on here. Thank you guys.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank y'all for being here tonight with us. It's been, as always, fun. I want to make sure and give a huge shout out to our channels, to one of our channel sponsors. We do still have a couple waiting in the wings that we haven't announced yet and gotten to yet. Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys. 3 convenient locations in the greater Houston area if you do live anywhere near here, or if you're going to vacation in Galveston, Kima, NASA, or Lago. Definitely a place that you want to consider going to. I have found so many great books, and so many of these books that are going to the giveaway boxes are coming over from them, and so it's just been it's really a fun experience to go and shop in a store like this with customer service, where they're super cool about holding your books for you, and they don't kind of hassle you or come up to you and say, "Hey, can I help you? Do you need anything?" Da, da, da. It's just very chill, and you can just dig through back issue bins. And that, for me, that's one of the most fun things, is to just dig through and see. And they've always got refresh stock going on, so we've enjoyed having them as a sponsor. If you're not a channel member yet, and you're considering it, make sure to consider it well, because that, especially at the Dark Knight tier, that curated care package is definitely well worth the price of admission, because there's a lot of fun books that I pick up. I was just picking some up like a couple weekends ago, just for some of those channel members. So make sure that you consider joining one of the levels, because it's a great way to support the channel. Let's go ahead and do this giveaway. Let me bring this up, and then we're going to do this. 17 entries for hashtag Vintage Gin.
Come on, guys. Get it in there, guys. Hit the like button. Uh-oh.
One. Good luck, everybody.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Who's going?
Good luck, Carlos. Uh-oh. Did Carlos freeze again, Jen?
I don't think so.
El Green
there you go.
Machine.
Whoa.
What's up, Green Machine? Congratulations. Oh my gosh, Green Machine. Well, this was a good one to win. All right, so here's the deal. Green Machine, so congratulations. He just celebrated his 4-month anniversary being a channel member here. He's got a big fat care package, comic book care package headed his way, but he's also now going to get the second smaller package with some of these books, or with this book. All right, so El Green, here's the deal. You can get the New Mutants #1. Okay. You can get this stack of 4 books I have here. You can get the Wonder Man #1, or, because I know you mentioned it, I'll pull that Daredevil back out. I'll let you even choose this one if you want it. Okay, so El Green, you tell me which of the 4 options do you want. You want one of these 2, or do you want this small stack?
He said that he wants the Daredevil.
The Daredevil. All right.
25th anniversary. Good pickup, man.
The what?
It's the 25th anniversary.
And it's a newsstand. It's about a 6.5 copy. All right. So El Green,
show the mystery books.
Show the mystery. Well, then here's the thing about revealing the mystery books. If I reveal all of them, I can't use them as mystery books again.
Oh yeah.
So because people are going to know. And this one, it has 4. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and show it. On next time, I'll just do it as a single giveaway. But see, I think the thing is that people are going to always think that if it's 4 books, that value-wise, that it's going to be more so than the. All right, so the New Mutants is going back in the box. All right, here's the mystery book, because y'all wanted all of them, or y'all wanted to, or Pops Mafia at least wants to see them. What I have here is a matching newsstand set. They are not high grade, and the #1 is pretty beat up. But it's a complete set of the West Coast Avengers miniseries.
Ooh,
this mini series. It's all 4 books together. They'll be giving away all 4 books together. And this was the launch of the West Coast Avengers title. This is when they choose the roster, but then there's a separate book that's the actual number one for the ongoing. So this is volume 1 of West Coast Avengers. That's going back in the giveaway box. Congratulations to our winners tonight, and congratulations to the other winners that have their books on the way. And we got the confusion figured out. I told poor Christina Payne, I said, I looked in my box and I don't know. I thought I had a book for you, but it looks like I don't. And then she said, no, remember, it was a slab from the 100th giveaway. And I said, yes, you're right. It was over here, a couple of those other slabs that have to go out. So she is also going to be getting that. Hey, it's been a great night hanging out with y'all, a great episode. We've enjoyed having each and every one of you, and we're appreciative for you choosing to spend an hour and a half of your Wednesday night with us to hang out. So we just want to say thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you so much for just for the continued support for the channel and for the show. We will see you next time. Hey, be looking out for some new Friday videos. They'll start dropping very, very soon. See you then. Bye-bye.